discuss the most pretentious matters of the mind. Yeah, exactly.
I think that wasn't mine. You should have sampled my live belch.
Well, I was trying to make it quickly because I actually just finished it about 10 minutes before we started.
Fine. The show, so. I mean, next time I'm out, we got to do a live because I can tell it's fake. But anyways.
It's not fake.
Is that you?
No, it's a sample. It's not fake at all. It's just compressed so that it fits into the sound nicely.
Fine. A real belch should not be compressed. Anyways, nice clip.
How do you... But you have to deal with audio.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. Anyway.
Did you play the harpsichord part?
Yes.
That was so proper.
Hey, I studied classical composition.
Did you wear a wig when you did it? Like a powdered wig?
Yeah, of course. Of course. Who do you think you're talking to?
Open your closet and show me the frilly shirt that you wore with all the ruffles.
All my clothes are in the other room. I don't have any clothes in this closet.
Did you wear that? Did you wear a frilly ruffled shirt?
Yes, and I wore shiny shoes with a little heel on Buckles? them and long, tall white socks.
I mean, it comes through in the performance. It really does.
Does it? Here, let's hear it again. Let's hear this.
I can hear you wearing. Yeah,
I can hear you. All right, here we go. Welcome to the Elitist Corner, where we discuss the most pretentious matters of the mind.
I love it. It's great.
It is great. It is great.
So, what are we going to talk about? Let's pretentious today.
Well, I guess maybe it's pretentious. It's probably not pretentious enough, but we're going to try. So
we'll just get it to that point.
Yeah. So So the idea is the grass is greener mentality.
Yes.
The reason I'm thinking about this is the conversation that we had the other day. We were listening to a Tim Minchin song, and it's interesting the word pretentious because my wife thinks that Tim Minchin is not that funny, but actually pretty pretentious.
Okay.
I think Tim Minchin is pretty funny, and I think he makes some good points with his comedy, which is also sort of an interesting idea that we could go down. But along the idea of the grass is greener, he has that statement, that comment that if you're always searching for whether the grass is which side the grass is greener is on, chances are it's neither, but it'll be easier to see if you're sitting on the fence.
Yeah.
So it's a fun line. Right. It's a cool line, and it's about sort of taking an ambivalent stance or not taking a particular stance one way or the other. And then I was reading a set of tweets yesterday by this political commentator, Mike Cernovich, who was writing about there's sort of this push in society of either get a degree and get an office job or a thinking job or a professorship or something like that. Or there's the other side is go to trade school and develop a skill and get a job as a mechanic or a plumber or a carpenter or something like that.
Oh, yeah. So it'd be white collar or blue collar and exclusively one or the other.
Exactly. And what he's saying is that both of these ideas have in them an embedded grass is greener mentality. And that both of these ideas, both of these paths lead you to your own kind of soul crushing thing. Because it's true that those trade jobs are really, really hard on your body, and your knees go out and your back goes out, and your life is very difficult, even if you're making good money.
Yeah, but if you have a white-collar job, you can't fix a flat tire, right? You can't put on your spare.
Right. And so blue collar people envy white collar jobs because they just get to sit around in an office. And what he argues is that sitting around in an office doing work that you know is bullshit and pretending to work and yakking around with midwit colleagues who are boring is soul crushing in a way that a blue collar job is body crushing.
Sure.
And a lot of white collar workers envy blue collar workers for being able to fix their own plumbing at home and change a tire and all that kind of stuff.
Or work 9 to 5 and then clock out and enjoy their weekend.
Yeah, exactly. And so what he says, he says his solution is he encourages people to go into sales, first of all.
Ugh.
And he says that, he said something, because we've talked about living on sort of as little money as possible as an idea.
Right? Yeah, something
so
that
what he was saying is
more advantageous than trying to make more money is like limit your budget.
So like a privilege for men is that you can still be a loser in your 30s. Because if you can make something of yourself by the time you're 50, nobody cares. Because we don't have to worry about like creating a baby or anything like that. But what he was saying is that an 18-year-old shouldn't go to a trade school or go to college for some like highfalutin anything. What they should do is an 18-year-old, a bachelor, needs basically no money to live on. Like they can live on extremely low amounts of money.
Sure.
And so what they should be doing is at that point learning how to be a salesman, get a sales job at 18, and then if they decide to go either route, sales, it's kind of like poker. It's kind of like learning how to make deals and stuff. You're going to need to be good at sales, either in blue collar or white collar work, to be any good at either.
That's just the social skills, really.
Right, exactly.
So what a lot of that comes down to.
Yeah. But it's this interesting idea that you shouldn't pick either one. Both of them are good and bad in different ways. And we try and shunt people in them too quickly.
I think so. That's very possible. And what I want to say too is why can't it be a blend of both?
Yeah.
Like we've lost the idea of the.
I would say that being a gigging musician is in an interesting way a blend of both.
Sure.
Being a musician kind of is because we have a lot of study and intellectualism in our music, but what we're doing is ultimately a trade.
Yeah.
When we're on stage.
I think so. Well, I mean, if you talk to guys that do charts or arrangements for a living, it's a trade.
Absolutely.
I see it very similarly similar to a guy coming in who's going to build kitchen cabinets.
Yeah.
Right. Well, how big is the kitchen? How many cabinets do you need? Okay. Right.
Yeah.
If the military says I need the mashup of these 3 tunes for this event, how long do you want it to be? Who's singing? Okay. Here's the key. Nope. Cut out the second chorus. Too long. Yep. No bridge. Blup, 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 blup. It's just a trade.
Yeah. That's true.
Nothing's glorious. I mean, even highfalutin jobs are still trade. It's just that the trade happens more. It's not, you don't see the physical result the same. You don't get a rocking chair. Right. But isn't a surgeon just a tradesman at some degree?
Well, yes, actually, this is interesting. So at the gig I had,
they actually provide a service.
Right. The salsa gig that I had at the Heart Surgeons Association. It's interesting. They showed a video of a heart surgeon who had saved this 2-year-old little girl whose aorta wasn't working properly, and they kind of like built a new one for her, which is crazy. Whoa. And it worked. It was wild. But definitely, it was crazy. The way the surgeon was talking, he sounded like a mechanic. He was like, yeah, we had to rebuild the whole aortic flap out of the heart, and then we constructed a blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you sound like a car mechanic.
Yeah.
It was like, we got to, the system's shot. We got to rebuild the whole thing. It's going to cost
he's like, well, let me go get a coffee and a donut. It'll be ready by this afternoon.
Yeah.
And then you get a call at 2 p.m. Oh, the part didn't come in. Come at 9:30 tomorrow.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to try another pass at this. I think I just had another idea. I think we can do this better. This didn't.
Oh, just do it again.
Elitism.
Just do it again.
I am.
You need to accept the good with the bad. You better not edit this out.
I'm not going to edit this out.
You better not. I will jump through the YouTubes, or what are we on, Zoom?
The Zoom. I will
jump through the Zoom tube. Do it again.
Yeah. No, I'm not editing anything out.
We shouldn't edit anything from here out. Nothing.
I don't understand why you think I'm editing anything out. You're acting like I am editing things out.
Do you? I think you're trying to create a false sense of reality.
I'm not.
Okay, fine.
All right. I just mean that kind of took off, but I have a better one. Welcome to the Elitist Corner, where we discuss the most pretentious matters of the mind.
Question before you start. Yep. Did you play both hands at the same time?
Nope.
Oh, boo! Boo!
Come on. That little trill at the end is wonderful.
No. I expect you to do both hands at the same time or you're not graduating, okay?
Can you play that? If you can play it both hands, I'll play it both.
Send me the music.
I will.
Send me the music.
And you have to play at that speed.
Send me the music.
None of this.
Send me the music.
Okay. All right. I'll send you the music.
Send me the chart.
Posturing over here.
Okay. We'll see. What if I send it back to you? What if I send it back to you and I'm ripping it?
And I would be like, did you quantize that?
Hey,
You'd be like,
you know what?
no,
You know what I'm
no.
gonna do? You know what I'm gonna do for you? You know what I'm
What?
gonna do for you is I'll set up my webcam on it
With a
in live
metronome,
time, and then I'll put my phone in the corner of the
with
room.
the
so we have two
newspaper with
reference points.
today's date.
Sure, we will live. We will do it next week for the show.
We'll do it
knows?
live. We'll do it
We'll
live.
do it live.
Okay, anyway, so I listened to a crazy podcast on my drive to the salsa gig, which was up in Temple, Texas. It was about an hour and 15 north of Austin.
Do they have Mormons there or something? Why is it called Temple?
I don't know. It seems like very religious area. It's kind of getting near Waco, flat, windy.
Okay. So you're headed to Temple.
Yeah. So I was listening to a podcast. Do you know who Glenn Lowry, Coleman Hughes, or Roland Fryer are?
I do not.
Okay, so they're like big intellectuals, kind of
They
like
sound like intellectuals with those names.
Yeah, and they're sort of known for being black intellectuals. They sort of exist in this space. So Glenn Lowry, they do podcasts where they talk about issues in black communities and things like that, and they hold heterodox opinions. And yeah, so it's okay. part of their sort of fame is that they're black intellectuals, which of course is kind of icky in its own way. But
I mean, shouldn't they just be intellectuals?
Right. Anyway, so Glenn Lowry is an economist at Brown University. Coleman Hughes is a jazz musician, went to Juilliard, then got a degree in philosophy from Columbia. And Roland Fryer is an economist at Harvard University. And Roland Fryer has a comedy lab because he thinks that stand-up comedy is a really important aspect of our society, and he has his graduate students study it and stuff. His economics students.
So with these guys, from their credentials, they sound like heavy hitters.
Oh yeah. Very, very, very smart.
I mean, if you want to be establishment heavy hitters, that is.
Right, but they also have a very anti-establishment points of view, and they have interesting podcasts and stuff like that.
Cool.
And like Roland Fryer was suspended from Harvard at some point for making some jokes. Whatever. Anyway, they did a podcast at the Comedy Cellar in New York, which was an interesting place for them to do a podcast. But the premise of the podcast was Glenn Lowry set up about 12 theses, like very, very challenging theses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he said, these are the kinds of things that would get all of us fired from our institutions, but they're the kinds of things that comedians could say on stage if they were skilled enough. And so what he was talking about is the necessity for comedians to be bringing up these issues and addressing them through comedy and through satire and things like that. And then there were also comedians on the panel, professional comedians. They had Andrew Schultz and Shane Gillis and Judy Gold. I don't know if you know any of them, but Andrew Schultz is interesting because he has a political show where he like makes fun of things happening in politics. But he was adamant that comedians should never even be on the same stage as professors. It's actually really bad for them to be publicly talking at all, because he said what professors are doing is they're trying to find truth and figure out what good things to say are. And what comedians are doing is trying to find what funny things to say are, which are often wrong. And so they will say things that they know to be incorrect if it is funny, and they don't care whether it's a good thing to say or not. And so they're
so it's like
they're at odds, right? Exactly. And so what Andrew Schultz was saying is actually like this isn't even a productive conversation to be having, because you professors are looking for something completely different in what you're doing.
Oh.
And then Glenn Lowry was pushing back and saying, I think that comedians do tend to have a point and a point of view, even if they want to diminish what they're doing as just dick jokes and just fucking around for a laugh.
Yeah, but there's still an element, like, if someone laughs at something, if they find humor in it, it doesn't matter if it's true or not. Isn't that part of the point? And even if a professor says something's true, it doesn't make it true, right? Like.
Right. Well, I don't think anybody was saying just because a professor says something that's true. It's the idea that a professor is seeking to say something that's true.
But to say that is still, like, I don't completely buy it, because how many times have people said things in the past and it's not true at all?
But saying something that's not true by accident is not the same as saying that's something that's not true on purpose. So what Andrew Schultz is saying is comedians say things that are not true on purpose.
But belief or statement doesn't make something true or false. Belief doesn't do that.
Right.
So then, like,
so the professor is trying to figure out a way, but the professor is trying to figure out a way to say something that's true. They might be wrong, but they're trying. The comedian doesn't care if it's true or not. They don't care at all, according to Andrew Schultz.
I think there's a lot of different types of comedians, though.
Yeah, of course.
Because wouldn't you say like someone like so you're much more of a comedy fan than I am,
right?
But some I enjoy listening to Mitch Hedberg. Most of what he says is it's making fun of like the mundane more.
Yes.
Right. It's kind of like this zoomed out perspective of everyday life. That's pretty funny. Whereas like when I've listened to a little bit of Carlin, he's actually giving social commentary.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's severe. It's almost like prophetic.
Yep.
Social commentary.
And it's interesting because George Carlin said the worst thing a comedian can ever do is try and make somebody think. The only thing they should be up there doing is trying to make people laugh.
So that's not so really what these guys are arguing about then is what is your obligation to society, and if you function, some of these individuals are arguing that if you function as a comedian, that's a much different function than being a professor, so they shouldn't even associate. Like they can go out for a drink in the evening,
but they shouldn't be doing
perform. They can't perform in public together. Yeah. So does that mean though then why? Because it's convoluting their purpose, but doesn't that mean then a musical act supporting a political candidate, isn't that also convoluting their functions?
Maybe. I mean, maybe Andrew Schultz would agree with that.
I got it. So we just got to segregate the entire population. Only musicians live with musicians. Only visual artists with visual artists. Only poets with poets.
And what about people who do multiple things?
Put all the lawyers together. They're going to have the sickest HOA you've ever seen. Those lawns are going to be immaculate. Every mailbox will be perfect.
Oh,
and if not, someone's going to get their butt sued. This is a great idea.
What if there was no litigation? Oh my God! What if that world had nobody suing each other? Like the idea of an armed society is a polite society. They're all kind of like a little afraid of each other.
Well, or I wonder if they would all form little coalitions.
Right.
This is a great idea. How do we get this to manifest?
I don't know. Oh man, you should write. You should write. Okay, since we're in the elitist corner, what do people with grand ideas about society do? They write treatises. So you should write a treatise exactly about your vision for society.
For my new world order, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll start working. Ooh, maybe we can do that. I can distribute a new chapter once a quarter or something.
Right. Every show. Every show. So you know how we hand out our propaganda.
I'm rebuilding the world. Okay.
Hey.
It's going to take some time.
Okay. How many shows do we have?
One a week.
No. Sorry, not every afternoon tonic. Every music show. So we hand out.
I see.
We hand out our pamphlets.
This show.
No, we hand out our pamphlets that have the words to.
So now here's the question, though.
And then on the back you have a new chapter of.
Oh, I got it. Check this out. This is a great idea. So what idea is the comedy side, where it's just complete absurdity. Like everyone's mandated to have pink flamingos in their front yard. And in the back, we have a voluntary tax system. Right, where you can opt in or out of the fire department.
Yeah.
If I don't want to have the ambulance pick me up, I'm not going to pay my county to have an ambulance.
Right. What I would love is if it was ambiguous and nobody knew which side was the absurdism.
We don't label them. We don't label them.
Right, and so sometimes you wouldn't even know.
Points together. We can do it like Congress. It's a bill for matter X, Y, and Z, and we slip in A, B, and C on page 50.
Oh, so they should be that long? We should hand out like 2,000-page books.
Okay, so maybe
this is a lot of work, man. We need people donating first before we can do this.
I got you. So what we're gonna do instead is we'll just do it on those flash drives.
Yeah,
those are much more affordable, and then it will spread on its own. We'll just write like download and share.
Nice. All right. Welcome to the Elitist Corner, where we discuss the most pretentious matters of the mind.